Someone you know is suffering right now. You noticed. You felt something real when you found out. You probably said something kind, or at least thought it. Now here is the only question that separates compassion from sentiment. What is different for them because you exist in their life? Not what you felt, not what you said, not what you intended. What actually changed? If the answer is nothing, we need to talk about what you were actually doing. Most of us have been trained to treat the feeling as the finish line, as if caring hard enough counts as doing something. It doesn't. Compassion has exactly one measure, and that measure lives entirely in the life of the person who was suffering. What you carry around afterward, the weight of it, the memory of their face, that's yours, not theirs. The only standard that matters is whether their suffering went down. Most people treat these four words like they're the same word with different spellings, but they're not. Empathy is when you feel what another person feels. Their pain lands inside you. Sympathy is one step removed. You understand their pain, but you're watching it from across a distance. Pity goes somewhere worse. It looks down. It creates a gap between you and the person who is suffering. None of those three require you to do a single thing. They can all live entirely inside your head, invisible and cost-free. Compassion is the one that breaks the pattern, because compassion moves. It sees suffering, and then it asks what can actually be done about it. The word itself comes from roots meaning to suffer with. But the with is not passive, it's directional. Empathy feels, sympathy acknowledges, pity distances, compassion acts. And that distinction is not a matter of vocabulary. It is a matter of whether anyone's life changes. There's a quiet reward that comes the moment you acknowledge someone else's pain. Your nervous system actually registers that acknowledgement as a kind of moral completion, like you've already done something. Sympathy gives you the warm feeling of having shown up, without requiring you to stay. Pity lets you feel generous while keeping a safe, comfortable distance from the problem. Shared distress is the sneakiest version because it genuinely hurts to watch someone suffer, and that hurt feels like it should count. Public acknowledgement adds a social layer on top. Now other people can see that you noticed, that you care, that you're the kind of person who responds. Prayer, kind words, a hand on the shoulder, none of these are worthless, but none of them move the needle on actual suffering either. The emotional transaction completes inside you, and the person in pain is still exactly where they were before you arrived. Responsibility has a strange habit of disappearing the moment more than one person is watching. Psychologists call it diffusion of responsibility, and it works like a tax split across a crowd. The more people who see a problem, the less any single person feels they own the fix. Everyone assumes someone else is already handling it, so nobody moves, and the suffering just sits there. This is not a failure of care. Most of those bystanders genuinely feel something. It's a failure of ownership, and sentiment fills the gap where ownership should be. The crowd feels bad together, and that collective feeling becomes its own kind of alibi. So here is the override rule, and it is simple. If you are the one who sees it, you are the one who owns it. Not morally above everyone else, just closest to the moment where action is still possible. Seeing it makes it yours.